I bought the building that we're sitting in right now back in 2008. And I won't bore you with the details, but I bought it basically from the city, and after starting significant renovations was told to give it back to them. They had made a mistake, they didn't mean to sell it to me, and we fought for a while, and I ultimately got to keep the building. And I fought so hard because I understood how important this building was to the Point Breeze corridor, how important this was to the neighborhood. And the back lot was also city-owned, and I looked at that in the same way I looked at this building as the key gateway to this community, to the Point Breeze corridor, the Point Breeze community. And I wanted the city to sell it to me, and I asked them to sell it to me, and I offered to pay fair market value, and they simply said no, that they had other plans for it. And I respected that, and I said okay. So I asked them to just clean it up. And I begged them, and I showed up at the Redevelopment Authority's offices, and I showed up at the councilman's offices, and I showed up everywhere and anywhere that I possibly could with the request that they just clean up their own mess. This was the city mess. This wasn't that the neighbors had dropped trash. This was that the city of Philadelphia thought it would be a good idea to take highway barriers, Jersey barriers, and pile them up on a vacant lot. And of course, grass grew on that. There wasn't an opportunity for anyone to cut it, and weeds sprouted, and trees grew from weeds, and you can imagine how unsightly it was. And after the city owning something since 1976, the sidewalk had crumbled. It was in complete disrepair. And after begging and begging and begging the city to first sell it to me, and then ultimately just to clean up their own mess, I took it upon myself to clean it. And for a lot that I couldn't get any public official to visit for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, after phone calls and voicemails and emails, all of a sudden they were so interested. If you're serious about investing in a community, sometimes when the city of Philadelphia tells you no, because it's their favorite word, you have to move forward anyways. And you have to have your own moral compass, because that's a slippery slope. But there's no one that can look at what that lot was and what it is today and ever suggest that we did the wrong thing. And the easiest example is if you look at all the other city-owned lots that were the same condition this one was in 4 years ago, 3 years ago, when we cleaned it up, and realize that they're in the exact same terrible condition they were in when the city said they were about to get to it. So I spent my own money, and I cleaned up the lot, and I poured a sidewalk, and I planted cherry trees, and I put up picnic benches, and I made it open to the public. There's no gate there. It's open 24 hours a day. And you'll learn two things. One, the community really appreciates when people take an interest and put their money where their mouth is and make their community better. And two, they don't care what the city thinks. Because the city can hold every press conference they want, scolding me and saying I did a bad thing. At the end of the day, fixing up that lot was the right thing to do.